What is up, everybody? Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, whatever fucking time of the day it is for you. We just swore, so even if we were monetized, this video wouldn't be monetized, but we're not monetized, so it's all good. I'm Murph, welcome back to the channel. I'm feeling a little loopy, a little crazy right now because we just went through like the blog post a little bit ago about the new, we'll get to this. We just went through the blog post a little bit ago about Elrond, right? So, right, that way somewhere up there, up there, Elrond. See that big old elven guy with that staff and got a nice little elven ring. Um, he's our first legendary unlock, right? So start thinking about it. Start thinking about it. Getting in the rabbit hole a little bit. What do we need to unlock him? I want to throw a disclaimer out. This entire video is all speculative. Do not put any sort of money or don't put money towards anything I'm suggesting in this video. And if you choose to invest your free-to-play resources in the game towards this, do so at your own risk. Because again, this is all speculative. But went down a bit of a rabbit hole today. So it's just something I've wanted to do a long time on this channel, right? And what we're gonna do is we're gonna put a little bit of a tinfoil hat on. It's just gonna stay put. We're gonna be good. I think we're gonna be good. All right, so we're gonna put a tinfoil hat on. Hold on. We need to finish. We need to get this right. There we go. I think we're good. Let's get stay put. All right, tinfoil hat is on. Join me. We're about to go down our rabbit hole on this. Now, legendary event. We need 5 characters at 5 stars to unlock Elrond. If we're going off of what they did in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, the first Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes legendary was Grandmaster Yoda. Grandmaster Yoda required Jedi characters to unlock. After Grandmaster Yoda, the vast majority of legendary characters required a faction that was thematically and canon or canonically, that's the correct word, canonically opposed to that character, i.e., for Emperor Palpatine, we had to have rebel characters. For R2D2, we needed Empire characters. These legendary characters and the faction need to unlock them are diametrically opposed. Okay, they're enemies in the lore. So, going off of this logic, what do we have in game that is an enemy of Elrond? Okay, hear me out. Now, let's go over to BlueStacks real quick. What we're gonna do, what I did, started going through the rabbit hole, right? So obviously Elrond is a good character. He's a light side character. We're not gonna have any light side characters that would be enemies of Elrond for the faction. Now I know what you guys want to say. Maybe you need elves to unlock him. Maybe you need Road to Rivendell to unlock him. I don't see them putting Road to Rivendell on there, considering one, Samwise Gamgee is basically a soft legendary character through his event campaign, and two, Strider is not farmable. You get him for free every day, but you cannot farm him actively. You cannot divert resources into unlocking him faster. I don't think CG hates us this much that they would put basically 2 walls in our first legendary character. Okay? This is going to be achievable for free to play. That's how they get you. It's got to be achievable for free to play, but it's got to be really fucking tough to get. Like, so tough that you're this close to getting it, but if I just swipey, I'll get the unlock, right? Okay, so we're going, for the sake of this argument, this rabbit hole, we're going shadow characters. So, what shadow factions do we have that we might potentially have to farm to unlock Elrond, right? First one, Dunland. Dunland is not very likely, okay? I don't think it's going to be Dunland. It wouldn't make any sense. Dunland is diametrically opposed to Rohan. They are located in Rohan geographically. They fought the Rohirric. Now, after Dunland, what we have is we have the... I'm not going with goblins. That's more of a race than a faction. So, Haradrim. Haradrim. We only have 3 Haradrim characters in game right now, and we've already data mined that Haradrim are to unlock Witch King. We'll see if that's true or not. It'd be weird if that's the case because Haradrim have literally nothing to fucking do with the Lich King aside from the fact that they happen to both be at the Battle of the Pelennor Fields outside of Minas Tirith, but it's kind of thin to go off of if we're going off canon, so I don't like that for the Witch King. And if that's the case, if we're going off canon, this whole video is kaput, which this whole video is fucking crazy anyway, so bear with me. So if it's not Dunland, it's not Haradrim, is it Isengard? I say no. I don't think it's going to be Isengard. Isengard has literally nothing to fucking do with Elrond, period. Now, how about the Misty Mountain? Now, the Misty Mountain is a pretty big faction here, right? We're looking at 9 characters in total from the Misty Mountain. And this is possible. The reason this is possible is 2 reasons. Number 1, in The Hobbit, Thorin's company, along with Bilbo, everybody, they pass through Rivendell, they meet Elrond, they proceed through the Misty Mountains. Lord of the Rings, what happens? Frodo makes it to Rivendell, the Fellowship is formed, and they go to the Misty Mountains. You see a recurring theme here? I also want you to follow me on that in a second. We'll get back to this. Misty Mountain is a good candidate for this event. The second is Mordor. Now, Mordor, the reason why I think it could be Mordor, if we're going off canon, has nothing to do with the Third Age, what has been captured on the Lord of the Rings films and what everybody's familiar with. Actually, I take that back. It has been. In the very, very first intro in the Fellowship of the Ring, Elrond is in Mordor. He is at Mount Doom. He is at the Siege of Mount Doom, where Gil-galad and Elendil both die during the siege of the Black Fortress of Barad-dûr. Gil-galad dies. Elrond was Gil-galad's banner carrier, I believe, basically his right-hand man during that. He also received Gil-galad's Elven Ring after that, and basically could have become the next Elven King, decided not to. Might be wrong on that last bit. I'm like 90% sure. If someone's smarter than me with the lore, correct me down below in the comments. Now, it could be Mordor due to the Second Age. I think that's it for the factions, if I remember correctly. So if what we're going off of is between the Misty Mountain and Mordor, let's dive a little deeper here. I did this little handy-dandy paint up, right? And what I was looking at is all of these different factions in the game, okay? So what we've got is I was kind of debating with my guildmates in-game about, like, what would be the most likely thing for them to be if we're going off canon. So Dunland is down here in the orange. Dunland is just west of the Misty Mountains at the very southern end of it near Isengard, and is bordered by the South Road, and I forget what this river was called. I believe it was the Glanduin, which is an offshoot of the Anduin. Anyways, Dunland is kind of these foothills area here. Dunland is like the hill tribe people that fight against Rohan in the canon. Literally nothing to do with Elrond or Rivendell. Next up, we've got Isengard. Isengard is right here in the dark blue. It's not necessarily that big, but it's basically just one fortress right there. Again, Isengard fought Rohan. That's really about it. Like if you want to get like really, really thin as far as like Isengard to the elves connection, that first group of Uruk-hai went basically to Lorien in the books. And they didn't really mention it in the movies, but they went to Lorien in the books. And the scouts found them and killed them there, or some of them there. Mordor, obviously, is down here in the bottom right corner, pictured in the red. I lost my cursor. There it is. We got Mordor right here in the red. Again, Mordor is not geographically close to Elrond or Rivendell. However, again, Second Age, Elrond traveled to Mordor during the like basically counterattack and siege and all that. And the Haradrim, they're not even pictured on the fucking map, so we're not considering them. And this next piece is, once I kind of started putting all of this together, I really started looking into it a little deeper. And here's something that occurred to me. Let's go back into the game. We're back in BlueStacks now. And BlueStacks crashed. And we're back. All right, so we got the game back open. Now, this is kind of the last little bit of this rabbit hole, and this is what really solidified it for me, that I think I've narrowed it down to what characters are going to be needed to unlock Elrond. So we've already talked about all the different shadow factions, where they're at geographically, kind of where they fit in, canonically with Elrond as a character. And what I really, really want to talk about here is what is in the game right now. So if you go to Dunland, there's only 3 characters in the game with the Dunland tag. We've only got 3 Dunlandings. They would have to add 2 more Dunlandings in order for us to even unlock Elrond. Okay? If you go to Haradrim, there's only 3 Haradrim. Again, they would have to unlock 2 more in the game to get Elrond, and Haradrim has already been confirmed via data mine, so not confirmed, but found in data mines to be linked to the Witch King event. So if it's not Dunland, it's not Haradrim, who is it? We've got Mordor, and sure, there's 5 characters in Mordor, but I don't find Mordor all that likely, personally. Because if we look at it thematically, Shagrat and Grimlers, they have more to do with Frodo and Sam in Return of the King. Shagrat's the one that actually captures Frodo after he's been stabbed by Shelob. The rest of these are all made-up characters. So, if we're going thematically and off canon, I don't think these characters from Mordor are going to have anything to do with Elrond. If it was characters from the Second Age, which I don't even know of any Second Age, like Mordor orcs, I could see that being a thing. So what does that leave us with? That leaves us with Isengard. Again, Isengard. I don't think it's Isengard. Isengard has nothing to do with it. However, we do have 5 characters in here, right? So they could be ready for another unlock soon. We don't know. This is where my money's at. My money right here is on Misty Mountain. And I'll tell you why in a second. For one, we've got 9 characters total. Now, this is a lot of characters in here, but if we kind of parse through this information, what I want to show you is this. We got 9 Misty Mountain characters with the tag. First off, we have 3 orcs. Now, these orcs, the Misty Mountain orcs, Bolg. If we go over here, where are we at? There we are, Bolg in the Tolkien Gateway. Bolg is the son of Azog the Defiler. He's a Gundabad orc, and basically led the army in the Battle of the 5 Armies in The Hobbit, at the very end of The Hobbit, against Thorin and the rest of the Dwarves of Erebor and the Elves of Mirkwood and all of them. Why does that matter? If we talk about geography, Bolg and all of them, they would be right up here at Mount Gundabad, just north of the Misty Mountains. So even though they technically get the Misty Mountains tag, they're not really part of Misty Mountains. And on top of it, you can't tell me that Bolg isn't just an absolute slam dunk for a legendary event for Thorin later on. I don't think they would needlessly waste him on Elrond, a character that he has nothing to do with, and basically throw away the ability to do either a Thorin event or unlocking maybe Balin or one of the other characters for, Thorin's company from The Hobbit. What I really, really think here is, side note, actually, aside from the 3 orcs here, we've also got just some random one-off troll here that I've never heard of in canon. What I really think it's going to be, it's not just going to be Shadow. It's not just going to be Shadow Misty Mountain. I think it's going to be Shadow, Misty Mountain, and Goblins. We've got 5 characters in game already. And not only do we have 5 characters in game, we were just given today, if you've been logging in every day since the global launch, we were just gifted the Great Goblin. Great Goblin got nerfed recently, which means there's a lot more attention on him. However, we were just given the Great Goblin. Can we farm him? No. Maybe he will come free to play farmable in the next couple months or so before the event comes out. But either way, we've already got the Great Goblin unlocked at this point. We have 4 more characters that we can farm for the Misty Mountain Goblins faction. We're done. This is it. This is my speculative Elrond requirement farm. I could be absolutely fucking wrong and off base and crazy. I am crazy for sure. However, if I had to put if I had $1,000 to bet, and I was in Vegas and I could bet on this shit, I would put all of it on Misty Mountains Goblins. None of the other characters have anything to fucking do with Elrond outside of Road to Rivendell, and I don't think they're going to put basically a soft legendary and a daily unlock or a daily objective unlock in front of the first legendary event. Legendary events are supposed to be exciting. They're what drive revenue. They're what drive excitement for the player base, and they're not going to let the first one flop. Like they're not going to let the first one flop by doing some bullshit like that. I really, really think this is it. So I will probably be dumping a little bit of energy and farming on the side just to at least unlock these characters and throw a little bit at them. And if I'm right, I'm right. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. So be it. I don't recommend you guys farm these unless you have like extra resources in your board and say fuck it. I don't really do speculative content all that often, and I don't recommend that you invest your resources or especially your real world money into this at my word. Like, please don't fucking do it. But if you guys disagree, let me know down in the comments. What do you think the required characters for Elrond are going to be, and what are you currently farming and working on? Good night.